everyone. Having computed the deduction, now let us see agricultural income. As we have already learned that agricultural income is exempt under Section 10 of Income Tax Act. Here we can see the definition of agricultural income. Agricultural income is defined under Section 2, subsection A1 of the Income Tax Act 1961. Agricultural income refers to the income earned or revenue derived from the sources that include the farming land, buildings on or identified with an agricultural land, and commercial produce from the horticultural land. Which means the rent or revenue from agricultural land should be situated in India and the land should be used only for agricultural purpose. Or any land from any income which is derived from agricultural land by agricultural operations or processing of agricultural produce. The income can be from farmhouse used as a dwelling place, storehouse, or other outbuildings, or the income from saplings or seedlings grown in the nursery shall be deemed to be the agricultural income. So here we can very well know that the agricultural income is the income which is related to the income which is got from the agriculture from the land situated in India, and it can be from the agricultural operations, and it can also be from the saplings or seedlings which is grown in the nursery. These are all considered to be the agricultural income. Now, what is non-agricultural income, which does not come under the purview of agricultural income? Income from sale of grass, trees, etc. grown spontaneously. Income from sale of salt produced by the flood of water. Income from stone quarries. Income from breeding of livestock. Income from dairy farming, butter and cheese. Income from poultry farming. Income from fisheries. Preservation of potatoes by refrigeration. Income from brick making. Income from supplying water to agriculturalists. Interest on arrears of rent. Profit on sale of outstanding crops. Income received from letting out of land, royalty incomes of mines, etc. These are considered to be the non-agricultural income. Now let us see one problem. Problem number 1. Compute the agricultural income of Mr. Sanjeev for the assessment year 2019-20. Income from self-cultivated land 75,000. Rent of agricultural land 80,000. Annual value of house given to the tenants 6,000. Interest on loan borrowed to purchase agricultural land 15,000. Collection charges, land revenue paid to government. Labor charges, depreciation of equipment, purchase of seeds and fertilizers, interest on arrears of land, revenue received, and business income. Here we can see that we are given some agricultural incomes as well as some agricultural expenses. There is one item called as business income. So let us see how to deal with these items. What we have to do here is we have to add all the agricultural income together and deduct the expenses which are incurred due to the agriculture. So let us see the steps one by one. First, write computation of agricultural income of Mr. Sanjeev for the assessment year 2019-2020. So here first we'll write the incomes from agriculture. Let us see what are all the items present. Income from self-cultivated land 75,000. Let's see the solution. Income from self-cultivated land 75,000. Rent of agricultural land is 80,000. This is again an income 80,000. Then annual value of the house given to tenants 6,000. So all these three are incomes. So all these three incomes, you add it together, you get the total income derived from agriculture. Interest on loan borrowed to purchase agricultural land. It's an agricultural expense. It's a loan which is borrowed, so it's an loan, interest on loan. So the interest is paid. So it's an agricultural expense. Again, next one is you have collection charges on recovery of rent for agricultural land 500. So collection charges is paid. Again, it's an expense. Land revenue paid to the government. That's also an expenses. Labor charges is again an expense. Depreciation of machinery 800. It's an expense. Then purchase of seeds and fertilizers. This is again an expense. 3000 rupees. Record this 3000 rupees. Totally, all the expenses together comes to 20,600. Here we have not taken interest on arrears of land revenue received because it's non-agricultural income. Land revenue received is a non-agricultural income, that too it's an arrear. And again, business income is also non-agricultural income. So we are not taking this into consideration. So from the agricultural income, if you deduct the expenses of agriculture, you get the uh, agricultural income total net agricultural income of 1,40,400. Now let us see the treatment for partly agricultural income and partly business income. Here there are few crops, and the rules I have given the rules along with the agricultural income and business partition of agricultural income as and business income. Under rule 8, for growing tea and manufacturing of tea, agricultural income is considered to be 60% and business income is considered to be 40%. And under the rule of 7a, for rubber manufacturing business, 65% is agricultural income and 35% is business income. Under 7b subsection 1, coffee grown and cured by seller. In this case, 75% is considered to be the agricultural income and 25% is considered to be the business income. In case if his coffee is grown, cured, roasted and grounded by the seller in India with or without mixing chicory or other flavoring agents, in that case 60% is considered to be the agricultural income and 40% is considered to be the business income. We'll see one problem. Z Limited grows sugarcane to manufacture sugar. Compute the income of company from the following details relates to previous year 2018-19. Cost of cultivation of sugarcane is 7 lakh. Market value of sugarcane when transferred to factory 12 lakh. Other manufacturing cost rupees 5 lakhs. Sale of sugar is 27 lakhs. And sale of managing director who takes care of all the operations of the company is rupees 3,50,000. Here, try to understand that market value of sugarcane is agricultural income, sale of sugar is business income. And we are also given some expenses related to agricultural income and business income. So we have to compute agricultural income separately and business income separately. So first we will compute the agricultural income. Under agricultural income we have market value of sugarcane. Market value of sugarcane is 12 lakhs. From this we will deduct the expenses which is incurred on the sugarcane. The expenses incurred on cultivation of sugarcane is rupees 7 lakhs. 7 lakhs. So if you deduct this expense from the market value of 12 lakh, you get the agricultural income of rupees 5 lakhs. Next we'll find out the computation of income from business. Sale of sugar is considered to be the business income. So sale of sugar 27 lakhs, and the expenses which are pertaining to income from businesses, market value of sugarcane when transferred to the factory. So when it is transferred to the factory, the cost incurred is 12 lakhs, and salary of managing director is 3 lakhs 50,000. Other manufacturing cost is 5 lakhs. Altogether, it is around 20 lakh 50,000. From the sale of sugar, if you deduct all the expenses which is incurred, that is 20 lakh 50,000, you get the business income of 6 lakh 50,000. This is how you have to compute the agricultural income as well as business income separately. Now let us see one more problem. Problem number 3. Mr. Rajni has estates in rubber, tea and coffee. He earns income from them. He has also a nursery wherein he grows plants and sells. For the previous year ending 2018-19, he provides the details of his sources of income from estates and sale of plants. Manufacture of rubber rupees 6 lakhs, manufacture of coffee grown and cured rupees 4 lakh 50,000, manufacture of tea is 8 lakh, sale of plant from nursery is 1 lakh 50,000. Compute his taxable income for the assessment year 2019-20. We have already seen the previous problem. I'll just show you. Here we have computed only for sugarcane. We have separately computed for agricultural income as well as income from business. Same way we have to compute here, but here we have to see the percentages. Already I've told you about the partly agricultural income as well as partly business income. So again I'll repeat the same thing. For growing of tea and manufacturing of tea, 60% is treated as agricultural income and 40% as business income. So here we have tea, manufacturing of tea 8 lakhs. Here 60% is agricultural income and 40% is business income. Then we'll see for rubber. For rubber business, under 7A, rule 7A, 65 business agricultural income and 35 business percentage is business income. So for rubber, 65% is agricultural income and 35% is business income. And we have next one, we have the coffee grown. For coffee grown and cured by the seller, 75% is agricultural income and 25% is business income. So that is what we have done here. For coffee grown, 75% is agricultural income and 25% is business income. So now let us see the problem. Manufacture for one by one, let us see agricultural income. In case of agricultural income, income from rubber, the total amount is 6 lakhs. 6 lakhs into 65% gives you 3 lakhs 90,000. And income from coffee, 4 lakh 50,000 into 75%, that is 3 lakh 37,500. And income from tea is 8 lakh into 60%, that is 4 lakh 80,000. Then there is one more thing called as income from sale of nursery. This nursery totally it's 100% is considered to be the agricultural income. So 1 lakh 50,000. Total agricultural income is, if you add up all these, you get 13 lakh 57,500. For this 13 lakh 57,500, the tax is nil. Now coming to the income from business, income from rubber, we have 6 lakhs 6 lakhs, 35 percentage is considered to be the business income. So 6 lakhs into 35 percentage is 2 lakh 10,000. Income from coffee is 4 lakh 50,000 into 25%, it is 1 lakh 12,500, and income from tea is 8 lakhs into 40%, 3 lakh 20,000. If you add up all these, you get 6 lakh 42,500. So your gross total income is 6 lakhs 42,500. There is no deductions given. So the total income is 6 lakhs 42,500. We'll see one more problem. Miss Vinita, a resident of India, derives income from various operations relating to plantation and estates owned by her during the year ended 31st March 2019. Income from sale of centrifuge latex processed from rubber plants grown in Kerala, rupees 4 lakhs. Income from, so here we are asked to find out both agricultural income as well as business income. Already we have seen in the previous problem as well. So for rubber plants, 65% is considered to be the agricultural income and 35 percentage is business income. So out of this 4 lakh, 65 percentage, 4 lakh into 65 percentage is agricultural income, which we have calculated here 2 lakh 60,000. The same way business income, see here, with business income 4 lakhs into 35%, that is 1 lakh 40,000. Next one, income from sale of coffee grown and cured in Karnataka. If the coffee is grown and cured in Karnataka, in that case we have seen the agricultural income as 75% as well as business income is 25% according to the provisions. So income from sale of grown and cured coffee 2 lakhs here. 2 lakhs into 75 percentage is 1 lakh 50,000. Same way in case of business, income from sale of grown and cured coffee 2 lakh into 25%, that is 50,000. Then third one, income from sale of coffee grown, cured, roasted and grounded in Sri Lanka. Say here the sale has taken place in Mumbai. So the crop was grown in Sri Lanka, but the sale was taken place in Mumbai. So totally the say as there is a sale, it has to be considered as a business income totally. So sale consideration we have to put it in the business income. Income from sale of coffee grown, cured and roasted and grounded in Sri Lanka 3 lakh 30,000. Next one, income from sale of tea grown and manufactured in Ooty, rupees 5 lakhs. So tea is manufactured and grown in Ooty. For tea we have seen the provision for agriculture as well as for business. 60% is considered to be agricultural income and 40% is considered to be the business income. So for the first 60 percentage, we'll give it for agriculture 5 lakh into 60%, that is 3 lakhs. And in case of business, 5 lakh into 40%, that is 2 lakhs. Here one more item is there, income from sapling and seedling grown in nursery. If it is grown in nursery, that 100% is considered to be the agricultural income. So 90,000 as it is total is considered to be the agricultural income. If you add up all these, you get the total of 8 lakh, which is an agricultural income. Already we have discussed about the business income as well. So if you add up all these together, the percentages accordingly, you get the income from business. Now let us see few provisions relating to agricultural income and sale of agricultural land and its tax implications. If agricultural income is less than rupees 5,000 in a financial year, then it is not taxable. If only agricultural income is available and no other income is there, then also it is not taxable. If agricultural income is more than rupees 5 lakh and other income is above basic exemption limit. So here basic exemption limit is 2,50,000. Agricultural income should be more than 5 lakhs and the other income should be the basic exemption limit. The basic exemption limit is for an individual less than 60 years of age, it is 2,50,000. So in that case, you have to calculate the tax liability. If there is a capital gain tax on sale of agricultural land, it's not applicable. The capital gain tax on sale of non-agricultural land is there, then the taxes are applicable. So these are the steps taken for calculation of tax on non-agricultural income if there is agricultural income also. So what are these steps? Step 1, calculate tax on total income. You have to compute non-agricultural income and net agricultural income together. First add up these. Then second step is calculate tax on net agricultural income plus maximum exemption limit as per slab rate. You have to add up net agricultural income and maximum exemption limit as per the slab rate. Then from the step 1, you have to subtract step 2. This is the amount of tax payable by the assessee. Along with this, you add the educational cess at 20%, 2%, and secondary and higher education cess at 1%. Then you get the total taxable liability of an individual in case of if he has an agricultural income. We'll see the tax slab rates for 2019-24. If the individual has agricultural income as well as non-agricultural income, up to 2,50,000. If he is less than 60 years of age, it's nil. From 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, if his income is around 2,50,000 to rupees 5 lakhs, it is 5% of total income exceeding 2,50,000. If his income is 5 lakhs 1 to rupees 10 lakh, then 12,500 plus 20% of total income exceeding rupees 5 lakhs, and above 10 lakhs it is 1,12,500 plus 30% of total income exceeding rupees 10 lakh. These percentages I'll explain with the help of problems. An additional 4% health and education cess will be applicable on the tax amount calculated as above. Next, problem number 5. Compute tax liability of an individual for the assessment year 2019-20 in the following cases. Total income is 1,45,000 and agricultural income is rupees 50,000. Here we can see that the total income is 1,45,000. 1,45,000. In that case, no tax is payable as it is less than, let me show you. Up to 2,50,000, the tax of an individual is nil. So here the total income earned is 1,45,000. So no tax is payable on the total income as it does not exceed rupees 2,50,000. See the next case. Total income is rupees 3,45,000 and agricultural income is rupees 4,000. So agricultural income, if we see, it's less than 5,000, so it's not taxable. We are not going to integrate this along with the total income of 3,45,000. So and as agricultural income is less than 5,000, integration of agricultural income with total income cannot be done. So only for total income 3,45,000 we have to compute the tax liability. So here tax on income is for the first 2,50,000. Total income is 3,45,000. In that first 2,50,000, the income is nil. The tax amount is nil. See, 2,50,000 tax amount is nil. So here 3,45,000 minus 2,50,000 is 95,000. For this 95,000, from 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, 5% you have to calculate. So now for this 95,000 you have to calculate 5% of tax. So to 95,000 into 5% is 4,750. 4,750. Along with this, you have to add the health and education cess. 4,750 into 4%, that is 910. So the total tax liability is 4,750 plus 910, that is 4,940. We have the third case as well. Total income up rupees 16,50,000 and agricultural income is 22,500. Here in this case we can see that his income has exceeded 2,50,000. At the same time the agricultural income is also exceeded above 5,000. So till 5,000 only he can claim the exemption for agricultural income for the previous year. But as he has exceeded, he has to pay the tax for this. For the already we have seen the steps for that. This is the steps. On basis of these steps you have to calculate. We'll see one by one. Now let us see the next part, third part of the problem. That is, the total income is 16,50,000 and agricultural income is 22,500. Here you can see that the agricultural income is 22,500, which is above 5,000. So it comes under the purview of taxation. We have seen the format for computation. So first we have to find out the aggregate income. Aggregate income, for finding out aggregate income, you have to write total income. Total income is 16,50,000 and agricultural income is 22,500, and there was an unobserved loss, agricultural loss of 7,500. So 7,500 you have to deduct. 22,500 minus 7,500, which is 15,000. So the total aggregate income is 16,50,000 plus 16,50,000 plus 15,000, which is 16,65,000. So this is the total aggregate income. So the next step is you have to calculate tax on net agricultural income plus maximum exemption limit as per the slab rate. So we have to calculate the agricultural income. We have calculated the non-agricultural income and net agricultural income. Before this step, the first step also includes calculate tax on total income. We have not done that. So first we will calculate the tax slab rate on total income. Then we will calculate the tax slab rate for agricultural income as well. So here first for the aggregate income, the total aggregate income is 16,65,000. So here this is the income tax slab rate up to 2,50,000. The tax rate is nil. So first 2,50,000 tax rate is nil. For the next 2,50,000, that is from 2,50,001 to 5 lakh, 5% of total income exceeding 2,50,000 has to be calculated. So this just see here for the next 2,50,000, that is the tax bracket from 2,50,000 to 5 lakh. 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, tax rate is 5%. So the tax amount is calculated on basis of 5 lakh minus 2,50,000, that is 2,50,000. The taxable amount will be 2,50,000 into 5%, that is 12,500. So this is the 12,500. 12,500. Next, after calculating this 12,500, the total income, you all know, the total income is 16,65,000. Till 5 lakh we have calculated. So for the next 5 lakh we have to calculate. So for the next 5 lakh, that is from 5 lakh to 10 lakh, from 5 lakh 1 to 10 lakh, 12,500. This, along with this 12,500, you have to add 20 percentage of income exceeding rupees 5 lakhs. So that is, you have to calculate from the 10 lakh minus 5 lakh, that is 5 lakhs. So 10 lakh minus 5 lakh is 5 lakhs. From this 5 lakh, you have to calculate for 20%. You get 1 lakh. This is the amount. 5 lakh into at 20 percentage is 1 lakh. Next, if you see, total income is 16,65,000, but till 10 lakhs we have calculated the tax slab rate. Till 10 lakhs we have calculated. So 16,65,000 minus 10 lakhs is 6,65,000. So the tax amount for 6,65,000, 6,65,000, about 10 lakhs, see, about 10 lakhs, it is 1,12,000 plus 30%. This 1,12,000 is nothing but, for 2,50,000 it was 12,500, and for 5 lakh it is 1 lakh, 1 lakh. So if you add it up, you get 1,12,500. Apart from that, you have an amount of 6,65,000, because 60, our income, aggregate income was 6,65,000. So 16,65,000, from 16,65,000, if we deduct 10 lakhs, we get 6,65,000. For this 6,65,000, it is 30%. The tax slab is 30%. So 30% you have, if you calculate, you get 1,99,500. Get the amount of 1,99,500. So the total agricultural liability is, so total aggregate liability here is, if you add up all these, 3,12,000. The next step is, we have to calculate, we have calculated this, calculate tax on total income, tax slab we have calculated. The next step is, we have to calculate tax on net agricultural income plus maximum exempt limit as per slab rate. We have to calculate net agricultural income plus maximum exempt limit as per slab rate. After calculating this, we have to find out the tax liability for the agricultural income as well. Let us see this step. So here, agricultural income, this is the step 1 which we have calculated. Now coming to the step 2, agricultural income is 15,000, and basic exemption which you can claim is first for the first 2,50,000. So 2,50,000 you can claim an exemption. So 2,50,000. So total amount of agricultural income is 2,65,000. If you add up this, you get 2,65,000. So here also, as we have seen in the steps, that we have to calculate the tax slab rate. So for the first 2,50,000, the tax is nil, and the balance 2,65,000 minus 2,50,000 is 15,000. For 15,000, it is 5%. 5% of 15,000 is 750. 750 is the amount. So this is what we have calculated. Then what is the step 3? Subtract step 1 and from step 2. This is the amount of tax payable by the assessee. So what we have to do? Step 1 is Step 1 amount. This is the amount which we have calculated, 3,12,000. From this 3,12,000 we have to deduct 750. 3,12,000 minus 750, you get 3,11,250. This is the net tax liability. Then after calculating the net tax liability, you have to add up the health and education cess, that is 3,11,250 into 4%. 3,11,250 into 4%. This one is the 3,11,250. Takes net tax liability into 4%, gives you 12,450. If you add up these two, you get the total tax liability. I hope you can understand this. Let's move to the next problem. Problem number 6. Determine the tax liability of Mr. Sampath for the assessment year 2019-20 from the details given below. Income from the salary is 7,44,000. Income from house property is given. Long-term capital gain and short-term capital gain is given. Then net agricultural income is also given. He has invested rupees 1 lakh in units of mutual fund. We'll see the problem based on the steps already which we have done. So here the first step is we have to find out the aggregate income. So here income from salary is 7,44,000. Income from house property is 18,000. Long-term capital gain is 36,000 and short-term capital gain is 24,000. If you add up all these, you get the gross total income. Then he has invested in 1 lakh in units of mutual fund. It comes under deduction ATC. Under ATC, you know that already we have seen up to 1,50,000 you can claim the exemption, up to 1,50,000. But here he has invested to the extent of 1 lakh. So whichever is less, 1,50,000 or 1 lakh, whichever is less is the exemption amount. So 1 lakh is the exemption amount. So from 8,22,000, if we deduct 1 lakh, we get the total income of 7,22,000. And here the net agricultural income is given. Agricultural income for the year is more than 5,000. He got the net agricultural income of 3,60,000. So it has to be added up. So the total agricultural income is 3,60,000. 7,22,000 plus 3,60,000 gives you the aggregate income of rupees 10,82,000. So now as usual we'll calculate the taxable liability. So the total aggregate tax on aggregate income already we have seen. Aggregate income is 10,82,000. If you have seen the long term capital gain as well as short term capital gain, there is a deduction which you can claim at 20% and 15% for long term. For deduction you can claim. So here on long term capital gain, 36,000 into 20%, 7,200, and for short term capital gain 24,000 into 15% is 36,000. The balance amount, 3,600. 36,000 into 20% is 7,200 and 24,000 into 15% is 3,600. So the balance amount is 10,82,000 minus 36,000 is for long term capital gain and 24,000 is for short term capital gain. If you deduct this, you get the balance of 10,22,000. So for this 10,22,000 only we have to calculate the tax liability of the individual. So for this 10,22,000, as usual we will apply the income tax slab rates. Up to 2,50,000 the tax is nil. Next to 2,50,000 it is 5%. So 12,500. 2,50,000 into 5% is 12,500. And for the next 5 lakhs it is 20%. So 5 lakh into 20% is 1 lakh. So from 10 lakh 22,000, if you deduct 10 lakhs, you get 22,000. The balance amount is 22,000. For this 22,000 about 10 lakhs, that is 22,000 is there about 10 lakhs. So it has to be calculated at 30% of total income. So 22,000 into 30% is 6,600. So if you add up all these, you get the total taxable liability of 1,29,900. Now next we'll calculate the agricultural income. Agricultural income, as we have seen in the problem, it was 3,60,000. Net agricultural income was 3,60,000 and basic exemption is 2,50,000. So total agricultural income is 6,10,000. Again, for this agricultural income also we have to calculate the slab rates. For the first 2,50,000 it is nil. For the next 2,50,000 it's 12,500. And 1,10,000 is a balance. 6,10,000 minus 5 lakhs is 1,10,000. So for this 1,10,000 it is 22,000. So total tax liability for the agricultural income is 34,500. So the net tax liability will be, from this step you have to deduct from the aggregate tax liability, you have to deduct the agricultural tax liability. So 1,29,900 minus 34,500, you get the net tax liability of 95,400. Along with this, you add health and education cess of 95 of 4%, that is 95,400 into 4%, that is 3,816. So now the total tax liability is, if you add up these two, 95,400 plus 3,816, you get 99,216. This is the total tax liability of the individual. This is the conclusion of chapter 4, unit 4,